Welcome back to another Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast. I sound a little raspier this week because we had a fun time at the Mayo Civic Center, but we'll get to that in a second. First, we're going to thank our sponsor, the Flemke Agency, Mr. Ben Flemke and his team down there right across from Morehouse in their new brand spanking new office. They do the shopping for you for any of your insurance needs, so home, life, auto, commercial, all of that. They take care of the super boring part, but at the same time provide you with all the options. I don't know if you've ever seen those insurance commercials where Flo does the shopping for you. That's what Flemke and his team do for you down there. So thank you to Ben Flemke of the Flemke Agency. Well, I'm here with Coach Gabe Hovden. He's back in the saddle this week, and we have a great show for you today. It's tournament time.
How'd it go?
Boys individual at the Mayo Civic Center this past Saturday went pretty darn well. We knew that with Albert Lee coming back into the section and how stacked and peaking they are as a squad, we knew that any more than 3 people qualifying for state was going to be a pretty dang good day. And we had 4, almost 6, meaning we had a couple of true second matches in there too. So,
okay. Well, good.
Yeah. So our two number one seeds, Blake Fitcher at 215 and Grant Lauer at 285, both pinned their way through sections. Blake is kind of on fire right now.
Yeah.
His biggest competitor, that would have been the number 1 seed, Ethan Pepper from Mayo, tore his meniscus. Talked to him for a little bit in practice right before team sections. But quite honestly, and I said this to his face, no, I'm just kidding. Fitcher, the way he's wrestling right now, is just different.
So with the torn meniscus, he didn't even try? Didn't put a brace on and try?
They weren't even allowed to.
Oh.
Yeah, it was that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking not a flap or anything like that. Just all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's going to be wrestling at Luther next year. So wished him the best of luck. But, Fitcher took advantage, though, and ripped through the section. Looked explosive, pinned his way through. Grant Lauer at heavyweight, same thing. Looked dominant, looks a lot different. If you were here for the Albert Lee duel, both of them, we had some serious talks right after that, and both have, kind of flipped a switch, and they're wrestling just much more explosive. And we had to refine some things with Lauer, but other than that, man, it's just trusting their technique, going right into the tool bag, and, going full speed, honestly, both of them is take the governor off.
Yeah.
Just go full speed.
It's time to do it.
Yeah. And then our 2 seed took second. Number 9 ranked Kaden Lindquist lost to number 5 ranked Callie Graber of Northfield, which was a tight match. And I think that was pretty much a 50-50. If not, I think Kaden might have been in his head a little bit. Could have the more aggressive version of Kaden probably comes away with that more often than not. So very tightly contested. He looked good all day. And hopefully he gets a shot at a rematch there. That'd be nice.
So he would meet her in the placing round somewhere, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then Trey Hiatt was the 3rd seed in a really tough bracket of ranked kids. Ignashevsky of Albert Lee and Zane Angles of Northfield, who he lost each of those matches by 1 or 2 points in the regular season. He, in the semis, had Angles and a 1-1 match going to the 3rd period. Got a quick escape, and then took a really good shot off an underhook, quick high C, finished backdoor style, hooked up a cradle in the scramble, and took him over and stuck him.
Really?
And
nice.
we went nuts. That was incredible. And then even in the finals, it ended up being a 1-point loss to Ignashevsky.
Okay.
And they were in a couple of different scrambles that got stalemated that Hiatt flat out had him on his back.
Okay.
And I know we don't do danger points here in high school. College, Hiatt probably would have grabbed 8 near fall.
Yeah. Okay.
through all those exchanges. So, but yeah, feels pretty good about it. The competitor he is, he desperately wanted that win, but hey, he'll take it. That was one of the toughest brackets of the whole tournament. So, and then we had 4 third-place finishers, and once again, we only take the top 2. And so Donnie Sorenson at 121 looked pretty good on the day. He had a long day and worked all the way back to a true second match. Didn't go the way he wanted, but taken third there in a very, very tough bracket as well. A couple of ranked kids in the 121 bracket. Nothing to shake a stick at. That was really good too. Lane Karsten, another junior, took third place. He was the third seed with 2 ranked kids in his bracket, Logan Davis and JT Housen. And so we didn't know this at the time. In match 1, Lane evidently in the same foot pulled a lot of ligaments or tore a lot of ligaments and has a stress fracture. And whether he knew it or not, wrestled the semis against fellow ranked wrestler JT Housen, and it ended up being a 2-point match. He took him down right away and was working for a second takedown. Clearly something was bothering him, but we didn't know what at the time. And then after that, he wrestled 2 more matches on that foot to the point of we basically had to carry him off after his third place pin that he got. And the refs asking us, like, oh, my God, like, what's going on? Is he going to be okay? Do you need a trainer? Like, oh, he has a broken foot. Like, what? So, yeah, just some warrior stuff, some real kind of old school grit right there. And that was cool to see from Lane. And Lane confirmed, too, if I had a true second match, I would have wrestled it. So, well, yeah, just...
That's a true wrestler there.
Right. Super hard-nosed. Kudos to the Karstens.
Colton Glende.
Colton Glende, 8th grader, wrestling 145, and honestly, probably is more like a 133 pounder at the end of the day. And he took third place, and a very stacked bracket. His was very top heavy with Calder Sheehan from Mayo and Nick Corman of Elbert Lee, but still took third. Basically pinned his way through on the matches he won, so that was awesome. And then Max Flemke took third place at 189, our sophomore, and worked all the way back for a true second match. That didn't go the way he wanted, but an improvement over last year. And yeah, that's a grown man weight, 10th grader. Yep. So
yes, it is.
Nothing wrong with that. And then had a couple 4th place finishers. Jacob Wilson at 114, who's a 107 pounder on any other team. Took 4th at 114, so good for him. He progressed quite a bit this year, and it was cool to see. RJ Reinardy at 172 also took 4th. Also pretty much wrestling up a weight, and not to mention neck and shoulder stuff. So a lot of grit right there. RJ's all fireworks. 21 wins with 20 pins. But he's a little live by the sword, die by the sword type of thrower. So exciting nonetheless. And speaking of exciting, Riley Kreeger, 5th place at 152, had the eventual 3rd place winner in a guillotine. He's really loving his spidery type of stuff. I believe he's like 6'2", wrestling 152. So, but hits the weights hard. He's wiry, but he's strong. And then Carter Flatland, sophomore 160, also took 5th place and, man, was in every match. Like his bracket 1 through 6 was pretty even, and he did really well. Had a couple of close, tough losses, but still smiling at the end of the day like he always does. So,
well, good. You know. And only a sophomore. He's got time yet.
Only a sophomore. Didn't wrestle his freshman year because of heart issues.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I mean, he's still kind of green in that way. Yep. We had him on the podcast last week, and it's cool to see. He's definitely taken some big leaps. So that's been awesome. And just strong as heck. I mean, addicted to weightlifting. So
which is a good thing.
Exactly. And then Justin Gronli filled in at 133 for Jaden Jurley, and fought valiantly. Almost had 3 wins on the day, wrestling up a couple weight classes for Justin Gronli. So that was cool to see. Took 6th. So we all placed all the way up and down. That was pretty great. And like I said, we went into that knowing that any more than 3 wrestlers was a good day.
Yep.
And had 4, nearly 6. And now we're just ramping up. So those 4 boys, plus, if you recall, Aaliyah Fitcher punched her ticket by pinning her way through sections. Yep. So she's at 142. So this week at state, team is all day and night on Thursday. But then our individuals start Friday at 9 a.m. That's boys only on Friday, so 2 sessions of that.
And 9 and 4.
9 and 4
for the boys.
Yep. And then on Saturday, then the girls meet up. Then they're at that even bracket. So 9 a.m. is the start of their semifinal, or they'll do some quarters, and because they start at quarters for girls brackets. This is the final year of that. They're going to finally expand next year. But, that all starts at 9 a.m. And then the placing round Saturday night starts at 4.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're excited. We're getting ramped up and healing.
Yes.
Like that's the other part, too, is like this is kind of reloading for that this week. We're not going to push them too hard. So,
Let everybody heal up and get ready for the summer, lifting, going.
Exactly. So, Min USA.
Min USA. So, right now we have so far 4 guys qualified from our junior high. We got Mason Sorenson, Miles Ozzie, Reeve Franco, and Gabe Robb.
Okay.
The last 3 went up to Blaine this weekend on Sunday, and we wrestled up there at the regional, because for U14, you don't have to qualify for regionals, but you have to qualify at regionals to go to state.
Sure.
You have to place top 4. Miles had a 15-man bracket. Jeez. And just like Mason Sorenson had a 14-man bracket, the lightest guys basically in the tournament for their age have the biggest brackets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of real good little wrestlers out there right now. Gabe Robb took 3rd, Reeve took 3rd, Miles took 4th. So they all qualified. So they're all qualified for the USA state tournament. I'm not sure, 100% sure, but I think for the little guys, we have Owen Sorensen, who's qualified as a little guy, and I think Asher Johnson was at Brainerd.
Okay.
So, because there was 2 qualifiers this week in Brainerd and Blaine.
Gotcha.
I think he was up at Brainerd because they were up north for something, but
probably NDSU based.
Yeah, something on them lines. But I would say Brainerd probably was probably one of the toughest regionals because everybody north.
Yeah,
that's the closest tournament for them. I mean, you got the Bemidji's up there. You got everybody north. Duluth, anywhere up there has to go to Brainerd.
Gotcha.
Or they're traveling all the way down to Shakopee or Owatonna now, or Forest Lake. Those are the last 2. Forest Lake and Owatonna are the last 2.
Okay.
So that's on March 9th and 10th. Okay. So, but we have that was for the folk style part of it.
Yep.
Cadets, all they got to do is sign up. So for the USA folk style, they don't have to qualify. They just got to get their card and register for a state tournament because of a lot of cadets are still wrestling.
Yeah.
So they don't have to qualify for the state tournament.
Yeah.
So I am hoping the 7 that are in the room right now sign up for it because that's why basically we're still wrestling right now, folks.
Sure.
But to the freestyle half of it, the registration is open. You go to the Owatonna Wrestling Association website or
OwatonnaWrestling.com.
Yep. And there's links right there. It'll get you signed up. For Owatonna kids, it is free. But for out of town, non-Owatonna school district wrestlers, it's a $50 charge. But we have, I think it's 9 or 10 weeks long. 2 nights a week. We're shooting for Mondays and Thursdays as of right now. I have the room booked basically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
Right now I got it booked, but it just all depends on numbers and timing. But we're still working with the spring break because we actually start on March 18th, which is a week before spring break.
Yeah.
So we're still trying to see if we can get into the school at that time over spring break. So it's still, I'm getting some text messages. I don't know the answer to it. Yes, do I have the rooms reserved? Yes. But actually getting in the school with nobody here,
I'm pretty sure I can.
All right, then I think I got my key.
Yeah.
So we will be doing practice over spring break.
We'll just have to clean up after ourselves.
As long as you're not going anywhere.
Nope. Staying here, yeah.
All right, then then there's your answer to whoever texted me today.
Every day. You've heard of 2-a-days. We're doing 3-a-days all the way over spring break. Yep.
So that's freestyle's going. I'm getting the finalize of all the tournaments us coaches will be going to.
Okay.
Basically me and whoever else decides to come into the room and help coach.
Sure.
I definitely will be going to one a weekend for sure. Because there is some that have a Friday night and a Saturday, different tournaments going on, but tend to pick to the closest ones.
Sure.
so we're not traveling too far. There is one weekend we do take off because it is way up north, and that's a stay overnight for an open tournament. That's a good break.
Right.
So
makes sense.
But with freestyle and Greco this year, state is in Rochester like usual, and then regional nationals is the following weekend in Rochester.
Both at Mayo?
Both at I think so. I think they're at the Civic Center this year.
Nice. Okay.
So that's a good thing. We don't have to travel too far. And parents can't say, "Well, it's so far away." No.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no hotel needed.
Exactly.
So,
nice. Good deal.
So that's what we got going in the USA part of it.
Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, get out there. At the freestyle Greco season is incredibly important, and guess what? You're not doing 80 circle drills and all that type of stuff. Nope. It's there for technique. It's there for
just
mat time.
Yep.
And
it's a practices are about an hour 15 long.
Yep. Get the jitters out at the tournaments.
Yep. Just to keep the competitive edge going. You know,
you
tournaments are for. I mean, if you want to just come in and get mat time, you still should compete. What you're learning, you should try and use.
Right.
Because if you try and use some of this stuff in folk style, you're just going to get rang up for penalty points. You might as well go to the tournaments that we're learning.
And then, that talk about mat time that we always have with the wrestlers too, there's something to be said with like, oh, I hit something cool in practice. Great. Have you worked it out to where, when the adrenaline's going, we call it going white, like when you're dead tired and adrenaline's going, are you still able to hit moves, or do you just regress back into, when you're just the instincts?
Yep.
And it's getting those jitters out a little bit. Kind of being able to manage your adrenaline a little bit better too, and then can you hit those new things you learned?
Yes, and 90% of the moves we do you can do in folk style.
Yeah.
It's just like a desperation. Know when to throw a headlock or when to hit a lateral. Not you got to have the right pressure, and that's what we learn in freestyle.
And I'm going to say this a billion times because I wasn't a thrower. Freestyle, man, the counters to shots, it's going to improve your hips and your go-behinds so much. That was my big selling point, especially, going to like wrestling for the Storm and everything.
Yep.
I wrestled Greco and didn't throw. Drags, ducks, like there's ways around it. And so like I do like your selling point of the fun stuff, but for those that were like me, that were lame and were just taking shots and stuff. The single leg defense, the high crotch defense, things like that directly go into it. Yeah, you're not going to score points for just knocking someone to a hip, but it's going to improve your folk style go behinds too.
Yep.
So.
And we have fun. I mean, I don't at these open tournaments, we don't take it 100% serious like we do high school wrestling.
Yeah, you don't make them walk home.
No. We stop at Chick-fil-A and stuff like that. We have fun.
Sure.
And they're quick tournaments. They're only open tournaments are only 4-man brackets. So you're in and out. It's not like the old day where you have to weigh in at 7:30 in the morning and wrestling starts at 10. And if you're a big guy, you ain't wrestling until 2 or 3 o'clock.
Right.
It's
and you're waiting to get a rematch from folk style, and the kid ducks you in the finals and just goes home and like.
Yep. Did that happen?
God dang it. Jordan Cook Hastings, calling you out, man.
I mean it's fun. Yep. We don't do conditioning. We wrestle, but we don't do conditioning in our practice.
Yep.
I'm not there to condition. This is summer. You go do that on your own.
For sure. Awesome.
So,
well, we look forward to seeing everyone.
And to backtrack, state tournament. We do have our state tournament T-shirts.
Yes, state tournament T-shirts. Please contact Ryan Fitcher. If you have a kid in the high school program, they can just come to practice with the money and everything like that. The information is now out on Facebook and Instagram for the Owatonna Wrestling Association. And get them while they're hot. So.
And to all the guys and girls going to state tournament, good luck.
Yep. Awesome. Well, we will be right back with a couple of incredible guests. All right. Welcome back to another Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast. Coach Derek Johnson here with Coach Gabe Hovden, along with, 1997? Six. Okay, wrestling alum. I'm geeking out here. I was a gigantic fan watching you grow up. I knew the entire lineup of, the mid-'90s crew. And this is a big deal to me because Power Alley was like the biggest thing at the time. And Mr. Nate Abrams here gracing us with your presence. Like I said, huge fan. So welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and your buddies. So I'm going to let you take the lead on this one.
All right. Well, got Nate Abrahams here, class of '96. Let's hear your high school career. Starting off, when did you get pulled up to high school?
Into high school, 8th grade. So yeah, I had a awesome season. I think 7th grade year. I think I was 19-1, and came up 8th grade year, and wow, that was.
What weight were you at in 8th grade?
160. So when I came into the room, that was the prime. That 92 team was probably the best team that I can remember Owatonna having. Karsten, Model, Schubert, Beyer, all the, and I was up there wrestling Schubert and Beyer and Karsten and Gabe Weiss every day, just getting my butt kicked.
Yeah.
I don't think I got a takedown that entire year.
Jeez.
It was tough. Yeah. So that was my, baptism into the wrestling room in 8th grade. 9th grade, had a good season, wrestled varsity my last 4 years, finished 3rd in 95, qualified again in 96. I cut down to 71 my final year for the team. First time our team made it. And lost to Joel Gaden, defending champion, in the quarters. Still pretty bitter about that match.
Yeah, that doesn't go away.
I was the only person to take him down that year. Should have had back points. Didn't get called. Lost by 1. Then the next, I was just kind of done after that. Wrestlebacks. I lost to the guy that ended up getting 3rd, so I was pretty much out. And he was a guy that I'd beaten several times before. It was just one of those, had enough. It was burnt.
So with our team that year, because graduated together all.
Yep.
Our team that year, how was your feelings our first match our senior year against Apple Valley? What was that? What was going through your head that night?
That was great. We opened the season at home against Valley, right? And packed house. So I was obviously really confident. We had so many seniors, right?
Yeah.
It was now or never. It was the time we're going to make the state tournament. Apple Valley was not in our section anymore. We knew we were going to be able to handle Faribault.
Elberly was just a little...
Yeah, Elberly was just kind of coming up,
Yep.
but Valley was the team to beat, and it came down to, a 26-26 tie in front of a packed gym. It was great.
Yeah. And when we say packed gym, that the old high school the gym, people were sitting on the floor.
Yep.
I was.
Yeah.
I was behind our bench.
Yeah, bleachers were full. People were sitting on the floor. It was
nuts.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there, and non-Owatonna or Apple Valley people were there.
Yeah. It was the match to watch, right? In Southern Minnesota that Friday night, right? And we ended up going on to state, and then having the rematch with them. And
First round,
and we lose to go into the wrestlebacks.
What was it, 34-33? We lost, but I know
Something
we lost
like
by
that.
1. It was.
It was one of those. Ended up getting consolation. So it was a great state tournament as a team, though. For our first time being there, we were the first team to actually make it to True Team. So it was. Yeah, it was great.
Okay. So out of all 4 years, where was your favorite tournament to go to, and what kind of memories can we say on the podcast? Because I got some stories that I would love to say.
Yeah.
We got that round table thing we're still trying to figure out where
the after hour
podcast, but
we'll do that down at Reggie's or something. Probably one of the most fun was up in Superior. There was that one morning when we were running late or something, and we were all in those little minivans, and
who was driving your minivan?
I was in Davis's van.
Oh boy.
So Davis was in the lead, and we were going like 50 in a 35 apparently, and all of a sudden the police officer swings around, and I don't remember who he pulled over.
Becker's van, the one I was in.
But Davis saw that, and he's like, "We got to get out of here." And he took a left into the school and didn't know that we were driving on the sidewalk.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was one of those. We got to get out of here.
Yep.
So we're all
Gotta
bailing.
lose the cops on the sidewalk of a high school.
We're bailing out of the van with all our bags, just bolting into the school. And it was, but that was always a fun tournament. We always did really well up there, and we had fun. We got to stay a night or two. I can't remember what it was.
I think we stayed 2, and then we actually got to go. Davis actually let us go skiing.
Oh yeah,
1 year.
No one got hurt.
No one got hurt that year. Yeah, we went skiing at the ski
Spirit
slopes.
Mountain.
Spirit Mountain. Yep.
Yeah, that was fun. And I remember when I went skiing, I don't know, it was like junior year or senior year. Ben Gazer and I were going to go skiing, and Krutlow was like, "You're not going skiing." I'm like, "I'm just going to run to Afton for the afternoon." No, you're not. No, we went. One of those deals.
So I ask all the little ones. I ask everybody. I'm going to ask you because I know it's not me, but who's your favorite coach? I mean, that you your favorite coach to wrestle with, to be around.
Yeah, definitely Krutlow. I had so many good coaches from your dad beating the crap out of me in 7th grade in the junior high room. Yeah. Your dad, obviously, with growing up with freestyle and youth, but when Krutlow came into the room, it kind of little different dynamic. We didn't have a bigger coach that we could really scrap with, right?
Yeah.
Especially someone of his caliber. I don't think I took him.
He's pretty young at that point.
He
too,
was,
right?
yeah. I mean, he a few years out of college, and yeah, he was. He could really go, And I think it took me maybe into my senior year before I took him down.
Sure.
But Schubert and I didn't have anybody that could really, really push you, and he obviously did that. Not to mention all the weightlifting he did with us in the off season every day after. School after work, we were in the gym or in the weight room. Yeah.
So did all the wrestlers hear that? What he just said? Weight room every day.
Every day, all season, all year. Yeah. Krutlow and I were in the high school weight room after work when he was still a single man, I think at the time, and yeah, it was a big help obviously for me to stay focused.
And then about our junior year. What coach came rolling in that nobody ever wanted to wrestle? You come in and you could basically smell he's blowing out the last smoke of his cigar. Chuck Jean?
Chuck Jean, oh yeah. So
heard about that.
So Chuck was one of our coaches a couple years earlier.
Was it?
Before that,
okay.
He was a full-time coach for us, and then I think he went. Maybe it's the year before. He came in part-time after that.
Okay.
But yeah, he was another one you didn't want to mess with.
No.
I think he was a roofer, and he was
just
construction. I mean, his hands were, he'd tear you up. But yeah, he was a tough guy, and he was probably in his mid-40s at the time. So my age,
What animal did he wrestle or fight at a bar?
A white-tailed deer.
With a Swiss Army knife. Rumor has it. I don't know if it's a true story.
That's the rumor. You can Google it. There's some good stories out there on.
Yeah. Supposedly he took a town deer down with a Swiss
like
Army
a well-known
knife.
deer. Apparently.
Yeah. Chased it down and hung it on the fence for everybody.
Brought it home with it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Other than that, so you did wrestle. You mentioned freestyle and Greco. I know you were on the cadet team for sure.
Yep.
How did that help you through high school wrestling?
It was awesome. I didn't start freestyle and Greco until 7th grade.
Okay.
And I started folk style in 1st grade. So I wrestled all through, up until 7th. I finally started freestyle. And I was, not that I was intimidated by it. I didn't really understand it. It was a whole different scoring and all that. But I think it was you and Brussels that kind of talked me into trying it. And then I won state that year, first year out as a freestyler. So I was hooked then. I was like, freestyle's more fun than folk style, That's kind of how it was. And a year later, I got into Greco. So I was wrestling both styles in the off season. And yeah, I was an All-American. And as a cadet, I got 6th. I don't remember what year that was. Maybe in 9th grade. I can't remember. Something like that. Yeah, down in Columbia, Missouri. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I loved it. It was great for me. Especially considering I was kind of an upper body guy anyway, especially when I was younger. Getting into freestyle and Greco, just mat time, keeping position. Yeah. So it really helped me with obviously my high school career too.
I mean, the one move that sticks out in my head is when you would throw a headlock. That was just, I mean, it was almost, it's like painful to watch that kid, whoever you were throwing it in. It was like, oh, here it comes, because we knew how you set it up and where you would hit it from. It's like, oh, here it comes. He's walking into it.
Count it down.
Yep.
And it was one of those things you always had, right?
Yep.
I mean, upper body came natural to me with underarm throws and obviously laterals and all that kind of thing. But headlock was kind of one that it was really natural. But as I kind of remember as I got older, like junior year, senior year, I didn't really throw it until I got mad.
Yep.
When I was getting mad for some reason, then that's when it would happen. I remember your dad always saying that, oh, Nate's getting mad. I could hear him over me. Like, oh boy, okay.
Yep, here comes the headlock.
Yeah.
He's sick of this guy doing whatever he was doing to you.
He wasn't wrong either. I mean, it's pretty much how it went. But
yeah, it was always great after I was done wrestling to watch you guys at the upper weights, and I thought at 160, when you were at 160, that was a big weight to me, because I mean I was at 103. I mean 160, that's a 60 pounds bigger than I'm always looking up to him. I'm looking up all these heavy weights and these big guys just going, God, it must be nice.
Yeah.
You get the power alley. Us little guys down here, we're just running in a circle trying not to get ran over by you guys when you guys come in.
To be honest, I was always, as a little kid and a fan, but I was squirrely, so I would be in there for Brussels. Then I'd go play tag in the in the hallways and stuff. And then if I got wind that like Travis Gray's coming up, like here we go, come back in. I'd drag all my friends back in. And like, no, every single weight, you guys. Like we're gonna get a pin at every weight. And honestly, it happened a lot.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I think teams kind of got, they knew they had to have a 30-point lead going into 152, or it was going to be, curtains for them.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Davis remember those playing cards he made us?
Yes.
We all had those playing cards.
Yeah.
I still have a Power Alley card.
Yeah.
Yeah, Travis Gray, Bohr, myself,
I heard that's worth like 150. I looked it up in a Beckett the other day.
I'll sell it to you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah, memories. I got a lot of other stories but just good times wrestling.
Yeah.
It was great. Like I said, it was great watching you upper weights, all of you guys, because we'd sit back and we'd know where our score was if it was even close, and we're like, here it comes. And as lightweights, we just sit back and go, well, we did what we were supposed to.
Right.
Now these guys got to do
our
it.
part. Yeah. And it was fun. It was great. Those were the days.
Yep. And then having to travel when nobody wanted to wrestle. I mean, we like going to Superior, going to Rice Lake. We had to get out. To travel because of Power Alley. I mean, it wasn't us lightweights because we lost. I lost down there, but the upper weights they rarely you rarely seen two of them lose in a row. There was never back-to-back losses at that upper weight.
That tradition went back a long ways. I mean, that was long before my time. You're back to Karstens and Byers and all them, and even before
Dave
that.
Dietz, the heavy.
I mean, they had.
Yeah.
I mean,
our upper weights were back then. Was the team.
And putting their upper weights against even our class, I still think they were better than us.
Well, when Gabe Vietz threw Carl Jones 3 times but couldn't pin him.
Yeah.
But threw that guy around like it was nothing. That was something to see.
Big Carl.
Yep. Carl the Truth Jones.
Yep, Carl the Truth Jones.
Yep.
Back when they were wearing brown singlets.
They had brown and yellow. Yep.
Before they went full Iowa on everybody.
Yep. What happened to them now?
Right? Yeah. They're back.
Well,
First time in a while. But
and that's actually, they could probably put on their shirts homegrown in Apple Valley.
Oh,
now.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they have too many recruits going in there.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say recruits, sorry.
There's
transfers.
new Apple Valleys out there.
Yes,
so,
there's a couple new ones out there.
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking.
Right. But,
Right.
We appreciate you coming back in. Like I said, I was a huge, probably the biggest Power Alley fan, and I was a lightweight, but still. I remember those packed houses. I remember sitting on the gym floor for the Faribault duels for the Apple Valley one. That was always electric. Went to individual sections too. Like I was at everything as a little kid, and my dad made sure like I knew exactly who you were, and Kretlow too. He was always telling stories about comparing, because we kind of had like another Power Alley when I was going through that. Was a pretty self-confident group of guys, and for Kretlow to be like, nah, I don't know, man. Like, I saw the real thing, that type of thing. So you guys were definitely the benchmark, and like I said, electric. It was almost always 6 points, so I loved it at every weight. So
Yeah, it was fun.
So, I mean, is there any thought, maybe coming in and showing a move or two at freestyle with a good old classmate?
I haven't been on a mat in, 30 years,
Yeah.
or whatever it's been now. It hasn't been that long, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I'm gone too much. Work is too busy. I couldn't commit to being a coach.
No.
I did it for a couple of years. Actually, I coached youth in Faribault for a couple of years after college. But after that, it's probably the last time I've been on a mat.
And then having daughters, it throws a wrench in it, don't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? Maybe McKenna could wrestle. I don't know. She's a swimmer. She's got a fall sport. She doesn't have a winter sport.
Well,
there you go. We
Eli Ross came from swimming.
That's right.
yeah.
And our girls team is growing. I think DJ next year is going to have 9 up here, 8 or 9 for sure.
Nice.
Right.
Not including whatever else shows up.
Right, exactly.
So might need to be having a girls practice and then boys practice like basketball.
That's how Hastings does it.
Yeah?
They do
All right.
90-minute shifts.
Really?
So, yeah,
Okay.
they flip. Yeah. But
Nice.
Wow. Or we just need another wrestling room.
yeah, maybe a tax levy for a new high school or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Add on already.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Well, thank you for coming. It was
for
great
having me.
talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
DJ.
And Nate Abrahams, Power Alley, class of 96.
All right. Well, we'll be back with another one of our current wrestlers. So, all right. Welcome back to the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast. We are here with Lane Karsten, the one-legged wonder himself, coming off of individual sections. We told your story earlier about the torn ligaments and stress fracture in your foot and wrestling through it. And when was the point this past weekend when you realized that something was wrong?
I would say it really started hurting during team sections.
Team sections, okay.
I just didn't really think about going in and getting it checked out because I wanted to wrestle during individual sections.
Okay. So do you know what you did, or just all of a sudden just started like...
It mostly just started hurting.
Okay. So you could probably did something, and then it just kept getting a little worse and worse and worse?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a week and a half of hard practice and sprints and weightlifting and all that.
Keeping the weight
stuff.
down.
Yeah. Jeez, that's gutsy. So I know it didn't end the way you wanted it to this year. You're only your junior year. But how did the season go for you? How did you feel about it?
I thought this season went pretty well. I made like accomplishments with my record, getting some other accomplishments.
So what was your your overall record? Because I know you hit a milestone. What milestone was that earlier this season?
75 wins.
75. So what did you end up with this year?
He doesn't know.
I think it was.
Did you hit 80?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in the 90s. I'm
You're in
pretty
the
sure.
90s.
He ended at 96.
96 career wins as a junior.
Yeah. And 37-5, I believe this season ended with. So tough stuff. The things that stuck out to me this year, obviously the Dragos match from Chaskachan was huge. You were both ranked at the time, and man, you were on your way to majoring them. Like after giving up the first takedown, you just absolutely attacked and ran up the score, and it was great to see. The other one though, and you did it twice, was what's his name from Maple River, USC?
Isaac
Gonzalez.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. Which last year was a pretty even match, and then you got disqualified. But before that, I just saw that as such a kind of to see your improvement. You know, you guys just move up the same exact weight classes, and you major them and then pin them.
Yep.
Yeah, like that to me is like a clear cut. Here's where you were, here's where you are type of thing. And I loved using that measuring stick because, it's completely different. So what did you do to prepare? Like, and during the season, what did you do for the extra edge?
Mostly just watched film a lot, worked on things that I needed to work on, get better at more of my shots, working more on top, so then I could do better in the matches.
Yeah, you do something, you study well, and we use a phrase, shine a light on your weaknesses, and you never hesitate to ask, like, hey, I'm having problems with this position, what do I need? Or, like, any ideas here? So I love that humility. You're a guy you're a 2-time section champ, and you're asking for advice and asking for help and trying to always work and improve. And, that edge is cool to see. So what is your overall goal then? Like I said, this didn't go the way you wanted, but at the same time, man, you gutted it out like so hard. What for your senior year? What's the goal? What's the drive?
I really want to place at state.
Yeah,
that's my big goal.
Right. What measures are you going to take to get there?
Yeah, what are you going to do to prepare to achieve your goals? I mean, they're your goals. It's all in your hands. What are you going to do?
Lift a lot.
Lift a lot?
Work on stuff during the summer, go to camps.
Okay.
He's looking for one specific answer, and it's related to what he coaches.
It's like right here.
Freestyle Greco.
Are we interested in? I mean,
yeah.
It's there. I mean, yeah, you got to get your foot taken care of, get that healed up. Hopefully we can get that taken care of. But I know you're a 2-sport athlete. I mean, that's something to be proud of. Also, to be at varsity on 2 different sports. It's getting more rare and rare to see multiple sport athletes. So I know you're in lacrosse. You're probably gonna do lacrosse this year, ain't you?
Yeah.
If pending on the outcome of that. Well, that's good. I mean, is there a future in that or wrestling? What are you looking at for the future?
More wrestling.
More wrestling?
Because what do you want to do post-secondary? You talked a little bit about this. What are you looking to do after college?
Going to forestry mostly. If I can get an option, wrestle.
Okay. Gotcha. Because I think you told me you had an idea of what school you're kind of looking at.
Stevens Point.
UW Stevens Point.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Because they have a good program and a good major and everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
And obviously they have a wrestling team, and we like hearing that.
Yep. So what did you do? Like before your big matches, what do you do 20 minutes before your match? What does Lane do to prepare himself for a match?
Get all the nerves out, go talk to friends, do random stuff.
Yeah.
Get everything out of my head before.
Just clear your head and get ready to go. Okay.
Yeah, you get very serene, which I personally identify with. I don't get like the guys that are able to kind of high energy spaz before their matches and everything. You just kind of pace, and you got that like dead-eyed 1,000-yard stare going, and it's like, I get that. You can just see that it's just almost meditation, but yet meditation around murdering someone. Just.
So what else do you do in? Away from sports, away from wrestling, away from lacrosse, away from weightlifting. What do you enjoy doing?
Hunting, fishing, hanging out with friends.
Okay. Did you? I know. I'm asking questions, kind of getting answers because we hunt together. I go hunting with Lane and his dad. So I know you did some dog training.
Yeah.
So explain that a little bit. You trained some really high-end dogs. Hunting labs. So explain that to everybody.
It's very, very hard to do. It takes a lot of patience to get them dogs built to how they are, and just being able to work with them for times and keep doing repetition with them, then they'll be very good dogs.
Yep. So I know Luna's your dog.
Yep.
And Ina's mine. They're sisters. You definitely can tell who works with their dog and whose dog doesn't get worked with as much when we go hunting. But Lane, when I see him working with his dog and when we're out hunting, he does very, very well in that state. I think he needs to work on his shot a little better. There's been a couple times that selfies were being taken, and I'm like,
Okay.
guys, there's ducks. You're never gonna let
that was not my fault.
I'm never gonna let you guys let that one go. I'm standing with two of them, and I'm like, hey guys, I think we told this story last year when you were on. I'm like, hey guys, there's ducks coming at us, and here I look over. My daughter and him are taking selfies at the pond.
Wow, priorities.
Yeah.
Do it for the gram, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, but good times. What else do you do in your life? I mean, besides hunting now, what else do you do?
Work.
Work? Where do you work at?
I work at the fairgrounds right now.
Okay. So is that a job you do right after school, after wrestling's done? You're going to go to work every day, or is it weekends, or?
Mostly starts during the cross, because my cross coach is also my boss.
Okay.
So whenever I get time, I'll go work.
Gotcha. Yeah, you'll see Mr. Karsten zipping around on a golf cart all through the fair, and working late hours and everything.
So this year, are you going to take kind of control? Because I mean, you're going to be the senior next year. How are you going to get these guys to not do what you want, but do what everybody needs to do? I mean, do you and your other classmates kind of have a plan on what goals you guys are going to set as a team yet? Even though I know the season just ended, but I know you guys got to be talking.
Mostly just to get more kids out and to let them have fun.
Yeah.
Not make it seem like it's the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
Just make things fun.
Okay.
Yeah, keep them motivated, keep you guys together. I mean, we have a good room. That is the thing. Like, we talk a lot about culture, and you're one of the guys that helps with that. And I know the littles can be frustrating from time to time. We're working on how to manage that in a little bit more positive way. But you're one of the guys I lean on and trust to both lead by example and as a vocal leader. So I like that. And you've always been kind of mature for your age. Even as a freshman, you were that way as well. And you can tell that guys like Cale Robb and guys like that have been good role models too for you. So that's good. Well, I wanted to have you on here because of all those qualities you have, but also I can't say it enough, man. The way you gutted it out, already having a great season and everything like that, but then just pouring it all out, even with that injury, and kind of keeping it quiet. We didn't even know. We couldn't even tell. I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't really want anyone to know, so I could keep wrestling.
And usually you feel like it's the other way around of like, you know, I'm gonna make it known as like an excuse or whatever, so that if I fall short, I have that crutch, as I'm looking at crutches.
Yep.
But the fact that you were keeping it quiet just
doing what you do.
Do it, yeah. And that you were confirmed that if you had a true second match, you were gonna go for it too. So that was crazy. But well, thank you, sir. I look forward to your senior year. You get better every single year, and I'm excited for like the prep too, and what this off season is going to be. I don't think I've ever been this excited for an off season going into it, because it seems like the buy-in and the motivation and the excitement's all kind of coming together in a way that, I mean, you guys know you have a huge junior class right now. We've been talking about this class. By the time they're seniors, what our team's going to look like, and yeah, Elbertle's peaking too, and Northfield too. But honestly, like if we hit the weights the right way, we get some more mat time, and everyone kind of takes the leap that we think they're going to take. This is going to be a fun year, man. Like, I'm excited for you guys. So, well, thank you, sir. And this has been another Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast.
Do you have anybody?
You
have anybody you want to give a shout out to? I mean, like mom, dad, sister, girlfriends. Sure. They said that with a plural, or is it just one?
Just one.
Okay. Who do you want to shout out to? Be careful. Your mom's watching.
I guess just my mom and dad.
Okay.
That'll work.
There we go.
Anybody else? I mean,
No.
your sister puts up with you. You got to say hi to her.
Nah.
Jeez.
Hi, Kate.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Don't forget, state shirts available. So, yes, follow the instructions on Facebook or Instagram, and please let's support our team and let's have some fun this weekend. We're
And
excited.
recap, state tournament, boys start wrestling Friday, 9 a.m. Second round is at 4 p.m. for boys. And then on Saturday, 9 a.m., both the girls and boys are wrestling. And through the placing rounds at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
So hopefully you can make it.
We will see you all there, every single one of you. All right.
See ya.
Take care.